Alrighty, so today we're gonna finish up the review for match week number 15. And do you like goals? Because it was hard to come by, at least in these last four games of the Saturday night action, as there was only 5 goals that was combined in these 4 games. That is as much as the amount of goals that was scored between Sporting KC and the Portland Timbers. But with that being said, let us actually get into the first game, which is FC Cincinnati versus the Colorado Rapids, and the Rapids continue to be the last team to yet to register a home win this season as they lose this one nothing against Cincinnati. Early on, Vasquez did hit it right to Yarbrough before Acosta missed wide from close range. Yarbrough then denied Vasquez from close range, and I thought Cincinnati was on the front foot. They were looking to try to get the opening goal. Wobodo hits one right to Yarbrough as the shots were 5-0 in favor of Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati was all over the Rapids early in this one. Acosta then pulls it wide from close in the 32nd minute, but then in the 33rd minute, the breakthrough happened. And it's former Rapids player, Don Bacci, scoring here from Wobodo to make it 1-0 in favor of Cincinnati. And you gotta give credit and to Don Bacci there, the fact that it was a very class act here where he did not celebrate, instead give a heart-shaped salute to the Rapids crowd because, deep down, I know Don Baji still likes the Colorado Rapids. I mean, this is the team that gave him a chance when he came into the league. And although he's definitely been a bit of a journeyman, been jumping through a couple of teams, he will always remember as the Rapids as the one that give him a chance to start his MLS career and also give him another shot to restart his MLS career after it seems like he kind of hit a bit of a rock bottom after his time with Nashville SC. In the 42nd minute, Leyva did try to give Rapids a instant response. Well, actually not an instant response, but trying to get them a response. But unfortunately, he missed that one high. That was actually the first shot the Rapids has had. I mean, it just shows you how much dominance Cincinnati had in the first half. But we do head to halftime with the visitor leading 1-0. Now in the second half, it was almost tied up at one apiece. But the post denied Roland on a curler. I mean, Connor Roland, he absolutely hits that one on a rope on a curling shot, but unfortunately hits the post there. If that one went in, that's definitely going to be in contention for a goal of the week. I thought it was a promising start for the Rapids. They were trying to look for the equalizer. Lewis had a shot that was missed wide from long range before Yarbrough denied Kubo, but he gave up a juicy rebound, and he is very fortunate that Santos puts that one over because if that one was pounced in from Sergio Santos, yeah, that's not a great moment for William Yarbrough. I mean, William Yarbrough this season, it's been kind of weird for him this year. He's been kind of one of those keepers where he's been very inconsistent, where there's been times where he has been good and bailing out this Rapids team, and then there's times where he does not do well, and in this case, is an example of it, just allowing a juicy rebound on a shot that he clearly should parry it away, and he is very lucky. The fact that he were not being paid by Sergio Santos. Though on the other end, Saratano would deny Bombito from close range before he denied Rosenberry from long range, and then denied Cabral from close. So Saratano on the other end, he said, don't forget about me. I can make some big save too because he makes some big save here to keep Cincinnati the lead as the Rapids were pushing for the equalizer. On the other end, Yarbrough would deny Acosta from close range, but in the end, Cincinnati, they walk away with a 1-0 victory, and the shots in this one, 16 shots for the 12 that the Rapids had, 6 shots on goal for the 3 that the Rapids had, 6 shots off target for the 4 that the Rapids had, 5 shots out of block for the 4 that Cincy has, and possession-wise, 50% for both of these teams as Cincinnati continues to lead the Eastern Conference and lead the Supporters Shield standings. And I will say that the gap has closed slight lead after Nashville got the win yesterday because the gap were really opening up in the East. I think it was like 7 points before Nashville basically closed it back down to 4 after they got a big win yesterday against Columbus. But yeah, it's safe to say that Cincinnati, this is going to be a team that's going to be chasing for Supporter Shield glory. Though again, I think when you look at the upcoming schedule for Cincinnati, it's going to be interesting to see whether if they can get out of this relatively heavy road stretch. And we know this is a team that it does well on the road, and so far this season, it seems like they've proven once again. But we'll see whether if that can continue. I mean, this is a good start for them to play against a team that, again, the Rapids. It's got to be very frustrating. The fact that they are still yet getting a home win, and that in some of these home games that they play, it's not because of lack of trying. It's just simply because it's been the story of this season. They just don't have goal scored in this team to put in put the shot in the back of net to score them goals so that they can maybe even get a big win against their opposition. But that being said, moving on in terms of the next match is the Galaxy versus Charlotte FC. So I mentioned about TFC and how much of a gong show that is going on. Well, it seems like the Galaxy are pretty much the gong show of the Western Conference. And in fact, if I am gonna make a video talk about TFC and what has gone wrong for them and the horror show that is off the field situation, I might as well include the Galaxy in it too, because when you look at these two teams as in the bottom of their respective conference, yeah, it is bad on and off the field. And this is a late example of it, losing 1-0 at home against Charlotte. Now, early on, Schwedetsky would pulls it wide from close range before Kalina would deny Chicharito from close. All they then pulls it high from long range before Chicharito just missed why as he was trying to stab that one in. The Galaxy were definitely gaining some steam after it was relatively an uneventful start to this one. I mean, the shots were only 1-0 in favor of Charlotte through 15 minutes. Bond then denied Vargas from close range before Melenda would heads it right to Bond, and we do head to halftime with the scoreless between both of these teams. Now in the second half, Schwedetsky would pulls it high on the free kick before Bond had an awkward kick save that was he denied. Well, actually not denied by Schwedetsky, but he denied Schwedetsky as I don't think Schwedetsky meant to shoot that one. I think it was aimed toward the front post, and then Bond just kind of at the last second made an awkward kick save in terms of it. But there was no doubt that Charlotte started the better side coming out of the half. I mean, they were pressing to get the opening goal. Westwood had a chance to do so, but he pulls it high from close. But then on the other end, Kalina had to deny Chicharito from long range before Schwedetsky just puts it high from close. And in fact, that is one that Schwedetsky wants to have back. But thankfully for him, he did actually make amends for that bad miss that he had, because just 4 minutes later, he gets on the score sheet as he scored here from guess who? Just a Miram. I mean, I said it before, and I'll say it again. Just a Miram has been a huge impact for the Charlotte team, and that trade that he of course has they got from RSL. It is pretty clear that they won that trade by a lot, and I never thought that Jesse Miram would be turning back the clock. I mean, I know he still has some gas left in the tank, but the way that he's been performing for Charlotte, he is definitely turning back the clock to the days that remember when Jesse Miram was one of the best midfielder with the Columbus Crew during his prime of his career. Seems like he's basically doing that now in his short time with Charlotte FC. So yeah, that gave Charlotte the 1-0 lead. Pooch did look for the instant response, but he missed wide there in the 78th minute before Toluma would head it wide from the corner. And then in the 85th minute, second yellow was given to Chicharito. That's something you don't usually see often, seeing Chicharito getting his marching order there. But in the 89th minute, Boyd did go on his bike there, and he just missed that one wide. But despite the fact that I thought Charlotte was leading in this one and having a man advantage, they were kind of hanging on by a thread a little bit. The Galaxy were throwing the kitchen sink to get the equalizer. Boy had another opportunity, but he puts it high from long range in the 6 minute stoppage time, and then in the 7 minute stoppage time, Jovic, a guy that has known to score some late goal heroic, he heads it wide on the back post. And yeah, in the end, Charlotte walked away with a 1-0 win against the Galaxy. The shots in this one, 14 shots for both of these teams, 4 shots on goal compared to 2 that the Galaxy had, 8 shots off target compared to 9 that Charlotte has, and 4 shots that was blocked compared to just 1 that Charlotte has. And possession-wise, the Galaxy did have the better off the possession, but it's another loss for the Galaxy, and they're now officially in the worst start ever in their franchise history through 15 games. And like I said, it's just chaos both on and off the pitch. And this is why I might, as much as I was going to make a single video talk about TFC, I might include the Galaxy it too, because we have seen before in previous season where some of the worst team in the league up to this point of the season has been having some bad season, and there's different reason. But I don't think this is we have seen a season where both of the team in their respective conference that is rock bottom in the standings are just having such a gong show both on and off the field that is going on. I mean, after this game, I think we saw a very AC Milan kind of s moment where the the supporter group was they were having a word with those Galaxy player, and I mean I didn't know that. Like I saw that happen with AC Milan a couple of months ago when their ultras were trying to talk to the player and criticize the player for their performance. I didn't think we would see that in MLS too, but that's exactly what happened in that one. And again, it just shows you that there is just so much bad things and so much chaos that's going on and toxicity that's going on for the Galaxy. And again, I think I would definitely talk about them along with TFC in terms of just a disastrous kind of season, both on and off the pitch so far for both of those teams. But that being said, moving on in the next match. So this is the game that I went to between the Quakes versus FC Dallas, and I'll just basically revert what I said in my quick recap. I saw this one coming. I knew that as soon as the Quakes decided to sit back and basically trying to protect the 1-0 lead, I knew the Quakes were going to blow this game. And funny thing is that I actually saw on the MLS Reddit, they mentioned that this is now 8 points that the Quakes have dropped uh, after 90 minutes this season. That is not only the most by any team in MLS, and it's not even close. If they would have had those 8 points, they would be at the top of the Western Conference right now. That just shows you how frustrating this season has been. And again, I know this so far. When you look at where the Quakes are in the standings, on paper it feels like they have exceeded expectation, and that this is definitely a much better showing, at least in the standing wise, that they have in the previous year. And in some way, there is. I think there's definitely some improvement for this team, but it's getting to a point where that is kind of being overshadowed because of just the amount of times they're unable to close out games, and that now it seems like it's leak into the home form too, because I mentioned before how the Quakes have always had trouble in terms of closing out games on the road this season, and at least at home this season they haven't had a lot of trouble with that. That kind of changed after this game against Dallas. Now early on, Velasco would hit one right to Danielle as Danielle was back in goal in this one. It was a very open game in the first 5 minutes as both of these teams were playing direct. That wouldn't last though. I mean, it kind of got tightened up as the game goes along, and then we had a very concerning moment with Ensemble had to be stretchered off the field, and Junka had to replace him. I actually don't know what exactly happened to Ensemble, and I wasn't kind of paying attention. Well, I was watching this one, and then of course watching this one on my phone as it goes by. Again, even though I'm attending a game, I'm still trying to watch as many MLS game as possible. So I actually didn't know how what happened there that had Ensemble had to be stretched off. But yeah, anytime when you see a player stretch off, you just hope that it's nothing serious and hope that Ensemble has a speedy recovery. And then Sam Junka, of course, place him there. Trico then blasted high from long range. I mean, why not? Trico, after scoring that amazing goal against LAFC, why not he have a go? And he's definitely having the confidence to try to score another one. In fact, he trying to hit one again in just a minute later, but he puts it into the side netting. I thought it was a time where the Quakes started to take control of this game and creating some good opportunity. That wouldn't last though, because in the 27th minute, Danielle would deny Fiera from close range before Fiera would miss it high from long range, and then he had a shot that actually hit his own teammate Velasco. So that's gotta be frustrating if you're Jesus Ferreira. You had a chance to maybe score a goal, and your own teammate gets in the way. I mean, it happens. I don't think Velasco meant to do that. He was just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time, and yeah, unfortunate that it deflected off of his own teammate. But there was no doubt that I thought Dallas started to kind of control this game, and they were looking for the opener. And the Quakes defense were kind of out of sorts. I mean, they were letting some good opportunity, especially for Jesus Ferreira to score, and that's the last guy you want to have an open look for them to score, because we know Jesus Ferreira can score those goals. But we do head to halftime scoreless between both of these teams. Now in the second half, Danielle did deny Farfan in the front post, and I thought the Quakes once again had a lot of possession, but not much fruition going forward in front of goal. Though that being said, in the 74th minute, they got the opening goal. Originally, they said it was Tanner Beeson, the one that got the goal from Espinoza, but later on it did change to Kikanovic. I mean, both of those players kind of got to the ball at the same time, so it was kind of hard to tell which player they should award it. Again, originally it was Beeson. Even the PA announcer announced that Beeson, of course, scored that goal, but they later changed it to Kikanovic there that gets the last shot. But nevertheless, it was a 1-0 lead for the Quakes, and that goal kind of sums up at least up to that the performance that the Quakes have played. It was a very scrappy goal. It was one that it was kind of a bit fortunate too because it kind of hits off the post here and it goes into the back of the net. Though that was just not great defending from Dallas, especially from Tomasi part. I mean, I get it. Tomasi was trying to maybe let that one go. Maybe it was thinking it's gonna go wide, but at the same time, I mean, he shouldn't have to do that. When you're a defender, you're always taught that you can't just let a ball go wide and think that that is going to be the case. You need to at least trying to clear it when you think that it is going to be close. And Tomasi didn't get the memo there. I mean, he just kind of let that one go. It hits off the post and it just crossed the line as Paus was trying to punch that one out. So yeah, again, very fortunate for the Quakes, but they'll take it. They lead 1-0 in this one. Velasco looked for an answer, but he puts it high in the 75th minute. And I also wrote this is going to be interesting in the last 10 minutes to see if the Quakes can see this game out because this has been a problem for this team, mostly on the road. And I also wrote it doesn't help when they decided to just sit back and bunker for the 1-0 lead. And honestly, as soon as I saw that, I just had a feeling they were going to blow it because this is exactly the same thing I've seen them do on the road, and time after time they aren't able to be successful. And it should be no surprise that it wasn't successful in this game either, as Kosi Tafari would score in the third minute of stoppage time from Velasco and Martinez. I mean, Tafari basically with a looping header goes over the head of Danielle, though again, just some bad defending from the Quakes, especially from Rodriguez's part. He kind of got drifted too far, and by the time you realize the ball was coming toward the direction, and he's trying to head that one away, he wasn't able to do so. Tafari outjumped him, and yeah, that ties the game up at one apiece. There was also a sending off in the 10-minute of stoppage time as Judson, of course, got a straight red. I actually didn't know what happened because I already left the stadium. I left the stadium as soon as the full time whistle was blown. I heard it was something to do that he had some choice words to the Dallas first team staff, but yeah, I'm not quite sure what exactly happened, and most likely, from what I heard, it seems like it's not going to be resented by Disco. But nevertheless, in the end, it was a 1-1 draw in this one. Shots in this one, 8 shots apiece for both of these teams. 4 shots on goal for the 2 that the Quakes had. 4 shots off target for the 3 that Dallas had. 1 shot that was blocked for the 2 that the Quakes had. And possession-wise, 56% possession compared to 44% possession that the Quakes has in this game. A very frustrating result for the Quakes. I mean, this game felt like a loss and a half, and that this has got to be something that they got to stop. I just think that I even said in the recap, this is looking very similar to what we saw with the Columbus Crew, where time and time again they drop points, especially heading into stoppage time, and it basically cost them on decision day. I mean, I don't want to foreshadow anything, but I have a feeling if it does get into a scenario where the Quakes needs to win to make it to the playoffs, I have a feeling they're probably not going to do it, and they're probably not going to do it mainly because they decided to concede a goal in stoppage time. Because why not? Why not add one more moment that kind of sums up the season where this team could be so much higher in the standings if it wasn't for so many of these draw points that they had in stoppage time so far this season. But that being said, moving on into the last game on this board in the last game of match week number 15, at least for the Saturday action, but also for the review because I already reviewed the Sunday game, is Seattle versus the Red Bulls. So this was exactly what the doctor ordered for the Seattle Sounders. I mean, it hasn't been great for the Rave Green in the last couple of games, and I think after this one, I don't think any Sounders fan will be too confident after this one either, especially they're gonna lose Joao Paulo to the next game because of a red card, and also they're hoping that when Jordan Morris was subbed off in the first half, it was only for precautionary because yeah, this was kind of an ugly kind of win for the Sounders. But honestly, with the way that how the Sounders have been playing, I think Sounders fan would definitely take it against the Red Bulls. Now, early on, speaking of Jordan Morris, he would hits it high from close in the 5th minute, as I thought the Sounders were on the front foot looking for the opener. Though Harper did hit one right to Fry, but the shots were only one apiece through 20 minutes. I mean, this is not a big surprise because most of the games that the Red Bulls have played this season, whether under Troy Lesson is or Gerhard Stuver, it doesn't really feature a lot of crazy thing early in this one. Though that being said, in the 23rd minute, the second shot for the Sounders, it went into the back of net, and it's Jordan Morris. He scored from Chu and Rusnak to give the Sounders a 1-0 lead, and then just 2 minutes later, Morris was subbed off with an injury. And again, I don't know if this is just precautionary from Brian Schmetzer, because the way that Morris kind of come off, it didn't look like he came off limping or anything like that. But I think maybe this is just for a precautionary reason, and Tavares basically replaced him. That Castres did try to answer for the Red Bulls in the 40th minute, but he missed wide there before Ndam would heads it wide from close range. And I thought the Red Bulls started to get into this one, and the Sounders seems to be kind of being cruise control heading in halftime. Or I wouldn't say cruise control, but more like they're stuck in third gear. Like they just cannot able to find that extra gear to once again carry that momentum that they had after getting the opening goal. And we do head to halftime with them leading 1-0. Now in the second half, Manuel tried to poke it in, but he just missed it in the 48th minute, as I thought the Red Bulls were actually on the front foot in the second half. But I also thought the Sounders need to wake up, because man, it was a flat start for the Sounders in the second half, and only this is still only 1-0. I mean, yeah, if you're gonna allow the Red Bulls a couple of opportunity, they're eventually going to take it. Nealis had a chance to do so as he tried to poke it in the back post, but missed wide. And then by far the best opportunity for the Red Bulls came in the 66th minute, and Stefan Fry had to make a big save here. He absolutely robbed Manuel as he was in on goal there. Lucchinias then hits it high from close range, and then in the 76th minute, as I mentioned before, João Paulo getting his second yellow card, and that looked like it was going to be a devastating blow for the Sounders team, trying to hold on to the 1-0 lead, because you know how important João Paulo is to the Sounders team. And I thought it's kind of all hands on deck for the Sounders. Like, they're playing the man down without João Paulo in the midfield against this hungry Red Bulls team that have created some good chances to come back into this one. But to the Sounders' credit, they actually did a good job in terms of defending. They kind of seal up those gaps, and the Red Bulls were not having those same freedom to try to go on the attack, and was starting to kind of revert back to the problem that this team has had this season, which is creating some decent chances. And in the end, the Sounders were able to hold on to win 1-0 in this one. Shots in this one, 8 shots for the 10 that the Red Bulls had. Only one shot on goal that the Sounders had, and that shot on goal was the Morris goal compared to the 4 that the Red Bulls had. Both teams had 4 shots off target, 3 shots that was blocked for the 2 that the Red Bulls had, and possession-wise, 53% possession compared to 47% possession that the Red Bulls has in this game. And again, for the Sounders, not a pretty performance, but they needed a win because of how things have not really done well, and that they have played by far below par to the performance they had. And again, some of that has to do with injuries. And again, this is where Sounders fans are really hoping Morris is not the latest casualty of the numerous injuries that they've been battling to some key starters in the past couple of weeks. But for the Red Bulls, this game kind of sums up their role performance this season. I mean, there's been times where they have played well on the road, and they had those moments on the road to capitalize. They just aren't able to do so. And again, a lot of that has to down to the part that they also don't have enough attacking talent to score those crucial goals. And that, I said about the Fire and how Frank Kopaz, it seems like his magical kind of head coach boost has started to go away. I think it's kind of started to be the same goes with Troy Lesena. I mean, the Red Bulls were playing well under Troy Lesena, at least in the first couple of games. But, we said it many times before, when you have those new head coach boosts, you're going to have it for a couple of games, but then it's going to kind of drop off, and we're definitely starting to see the Red Bulls are dropping off from that new head coach boost after they fired Gerhard Stuber just a couple of weeks ago. But there you have it. That is pretty much it for the review of all 4 of these games. As always, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of these games? And tomorrow I will actually do the preview of the 12 games that's going to be happening in the middle of the week. Though I won't be doing the preview of the CCL final first leg between LAFC and Lyon, but I'm definitely going to be watching that game. So yes, that's probably going to be the first game I'm going to review before I review the midweek action. It was kind of a strange decision for MLS to have midweek games alongside with CCL final. But nevertheless, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys to like, smash the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments below what do you think of these 4 games. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.